Good afternoon, everyone. It's Janet McLean with the Cancierge Boutique. Back to inform you on something I find so extraordinarily important. I will never forget looking for my first wig 11 years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer. And the thing that was most daunting is I didn't know anything about wigs. Very often, people find themselves looking for a wig and they've never ever looked. So I just kind of want to give you what I call Wig 101. And that is something we give to every client that comes into the boutique. But from having bought wigs way before I had the Cancierge Boutique, I know that this information is not given very often. So first of all, there's two types of wigs. There's human hair and there's synthetic. They have very different purposes. If we're talking medicinal hair loss, somebody who's having chemotherapy, I strongly recommend a synthetic fiber. The reason I like a synthetic fiber is the ease of care. A synthetic fiber, you do not have to style. They are lightweight and they're affordable. So on the synthetic arena, you can actually wash the wig, you can put it on a stand, you shake it out, and you put it back on your head. The reason I like this is when you're going through treatment, there are times that you are fatigued and there's times that you don't have the energy. So I don't want you to have to style a wig and spend hours and hours and hours trying to get things ready when I want you to spending those hours with your loved ones at work, having a great time and going out to dinner. Now, I love human hair wigs. There is nothing more beautiful than a human hair wig. They are great. I love them for my gals with alopecia. Alopecia is it's a whole nother realm, and it can be very difficult because most of the time it's a moving target, and these young ladies don't know when their hair is going to grow back or if their hair is going to grow back. So human hair on that arena and the cap construction there is perfect for alopecia because first of all, they want to style. They have the time and the energy to style, and it is more realistic. They're more money, but for somebody who is looking at a long-term situation, I think these are a perfect choice. What I'm going to talk about today, we'll have a video later about human hair, but what I want to talk about today is the synthetic arena. The one for medicinal hair loss. By the way, alopecia can also wear synthetic. I have a lot of alopecia gals that wear synthetic and choose it so they can have many varieties at a better price point. But what I want to talk about today is the synthetic arena. There are three categories of synthetic wigs. And most everyone looks at me and is it what's on the outside? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with the hair, the synthetic hair that's on the outside. These are three different vendors, three different types of hair. They're all great. It's synthetic. It's easy to wash and wear. The difference in these three caps, other than they're different vendors, the difference in these three caps is that they have a different construction on the inside. And it's actually the inside of the wig that makes a difference in the way it looks, feels, and their price points. So I kind of want to break it down into three categories and explain those to you. So the first one we have here, this is what is called a machine wefted wig. This is the way most wigs were 25 years ago. Most of the features that we see today have come about more recently. But when we turn this wig inside out and we're looking at that, you can see that this is a weft of hair. This long strand with the hairs coming out of it is called a weft. So machine wefted is exactly what I'm saying. These wefts of hair have been sewn together in a factory to create this wig. The labor in the factory is much less than other kinds because this takes about 3 to 5 hours to put together. So you see up front, it doesn't have any hand-tied features. The cap is sewn. It's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with this style. I especially like it for gals who have a freer style like this one without a significant part. It is great for any of these carefree and or styles that seem to be a little bit more set for somebody who likes a more mature styling. So that is called a machine wefted cap. Now, a machine wefted cap, those range anywhere from about $150 to $220, depending on brands and all of that. So that's kind of the basic price point for a machine wefted wig. As we go through the labor chain and the different things that you look at, the next category I call hand-tied tops or monofilament tops. I'm sure you've heard that word or seen that word if you've been looking online. A monofilament lace front is very common terminology. So what does that mean? Exactly. You have to look on the inside. It has nothing to do with the outside. So as we turn this inside out and we look at this cap, it's different same in the fact, in that this again is a wefted back. This is a weft of hair. And with the machine, this has been sewn together on the back. The difference is on the top and the front. You can see this circular shape here. This is called a monofilament top with a lace front. The lace is this little half moon shape in the front. Each hair in this part of the cap has been hand tied individually, hair by hair by hair. So as you can see, the price of this wig increases due to the fact that it takes longer to hand tie a strand of hair into the top than it does to sew the back. So this one is almost, I often call it a half and half. So we have the machine tied top and back. Now, what's the benefit of having a machine tied top? Well, that would be in the look. If you have longer hair or hair with a defined part, I think these look more natural. If I can get a little closer to the camera, I think you can see it mimics scalp. So if you mimic scalp here, you can almost see my hand through the top of the wig. It looks like the hair is actually growing out of my hand, or for you, out of your head. So you get a realism there that is different from that of a machine wefted wig. Especially good, as I said, for those who have a defined part, those who do not like to have bangs. You can see that the lace front, that little half moon portion, how that also disappears. It gives you a very natural hairline. So this is a wonderful wig. These range anywhere from about, $280 to about $380 in my store. And it depends on how much hand tying. Some may only have a hand tied part, just right through here, where others have an entire hand tied top. So that's what we're looking at, is how much labor has actually been put in to hand tying it. So now we can go even further into what's called a hand tied cap. And I know many of you have probably seen that terminology online. I'll grab this one here. So as you can see, different styling. All of these are synthetic hair, just like we were talking about. But the difference here, when I turn this one out inside out, you can see the difference is there's no wefting. The wefting has disappeared. So what's better, not even better, just different about these is instead of machine sewing the back, every single hair in this wig has been hand tied one by one individually into the cap. What that gives you, the cap is more comfortable. It's softer. It will have a 5-way stretch where the others have a 2-way stretch. This has a 5-way stretch, so it kind of hugs the cap, hugs the head a little bit better. If you have sensitivity, this is especially important because it's a lot softer, and if you have a lot of sensitivity, that will help. Again, it has the same monofilament top features, and if you turn it over, it has the same scalp-like appearance. So this is 100% hand-tied cap. A lot of my gals with alopecia wear these, and many with cancer as well. I had one that was hand-tied. I had them all, actually. I had quite a few. But we won't talk about that addiction. Not here. So anyway, this is 100% hand-tied. These range anywhere from probably $400 to $700, just depending on length. The vendor. Every vendor has their own idea of what they're worth. So, and those are great. And so that is pretty much wig 101, is determining your price point. That's the first of all. Don't let somebody talk you into something that you can't afford. There is a great wig at every price point. So you determine what it is you want to spend. Don't let somebody upcharge you on a machine wefted wig. Make sure you've listened to those price point categories and what is offered within those. So if you're shopping online, not shopping at the boutique, or in an area that they don't want to explain those things, you know that you're getting a good value for the money that you want to spend. So that is Wig 101 at the Cancierge Boutique. We can't wait for our next video. I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon.